स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, where the Master has given number of spiritual instructions for those who are aspiring for spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna has made very easy for us to know spiritual ideas through his life and uplifting teachings. Today's topic I have chosen from the Gospel, the mysterious power of Maya. It is very important to know, to recognize the play of Maya in the universe. When you recognize the mysterious power of Maya, then only you will be able to practice some disciplines so that you can be overcome by that mysterious power. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, propitiate mother, you will be relieved from all sufferings in the world. Mother's grace is most important to make spiritual progress and even to get liberation, because Maya is her own power. Until and unless we recognize the play of Maya, we won't be free from bondage. So, Sri Ramakrishna has given a clear picture of Maya. He has said, what is this Maya? It is to Brahman what the snake in motion is to the snake at rest. Force in action is Maya. Force in potency is Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna further explains it. As the water of the ocean is now calm and next agitated into waves, so are Brahman and Maya. The ocean in the tranquil state is Brahman, and the turbulent state Maya. The relation of Brahman to Shakti is that of fire to its burning property. Shiva and Shakti, intelligence and energy, are both necessary for creation. With dry clay, no potter can make a pot. water also is necessary. So Shiva alone cannot create without the help of Shakti. Desirous of seeing Maya, Sri Ramakrishna had one day a vision. He also was curious to know what exactly Maya is. And it is very interesting to study these incidents, how we are taught the lessons about Maya. So Sri Ramakrishna saw in the vision a small drop slowly expanded and formed itself into a girl. The girl became a woman and gave birth to a child. And as soon as the child was born, she took it up and swallowed it. In this way, many children were born to her and were devoured by her. Then Sri Ramakrishna realized that she was Maya. So the whole universe is just the play of Maya. The snake itself is not affected by the poison in its fangs, but when it bites, the poison kills the creature bitten. Likewise, Maya is in the Lord but does not affect him, while the same Maya dilutes the whole world. A holy man used to look and smile at a chandelier prism day and night. The reason for his doing so was that he saw various colors through the prism, red, yellow, blue, and so on. Knowing these colors to be false, the holy man realized with a smile that the world also was equally false. Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. There was a person by name Hari, wearing a mask of a lion's head. He looked very terrible. So what he did was, once he wore that mask, suddenly he comes in front of his little sister who was playing. And this person with lion's head, he began to roar. He imitated the voice of the lion. And that little girl was shocked and terrified and shrieks out in pain to escape from the frightful creature. But when Hari took off the mask, the frightened girl at once recognized her loving brother and ran up to him, exclaiming, "Oh, it is my dear brother after all." Such is the case with all men. They are deluded and frightened and made to do all sorts of things by the inscrutable power of Maya, behind which Brahman hides himself. But when the veil of Maya is removed from the face of Brahman, one does not see in him a terrible and uncompromising master, but one's own most beloved inner self. If God is omnipresent, why do we not see him? Observing from the bank of a pool thickly covered with scum and weeds, you will not see the water in it. If you desire to see the water, remove the scum from the surface of the pond. With eyes covered with the film of Maya, you complain that you cannot see God. If you wish to see him, remove the film of Maya from your eyes. As the cloud covers the sun, so Maya hides the deity. When the cloud moves away, the sun is seen again. When Maya is removed, God becomes manifest. If you can find out the nature of Maya, the universal illusion, it will leave you just as a thief runs away when detected. How in a simple way Sri Ramakrishna describes the characteristics of Maya. It's really amazing. In another place, Sri Ramakrishna says, Maya is nothing but egotism of the embodied soul. This egotism has covered everything like a veil. All troubles come to an end when the ego dies. This Maya, that is to say, the ego is like a cloud. The sun cannot be seen on account of a thin patch of cloud. When that disappears, one sees the sun. If by the grace of the Guru, one's ego vanishes, then one sees God. Sri Rama, who is God himself, was only 2.5 cubits ahead of Lakshman. But Lakshman couldn't see him because Sita stood between them. Lakshman may be compared to the Jiva and Sita to Maya. Man cannot see God on account of the barrier of Maya. Just look. I am creating a barrier in front of my face with this towel. Now, you can't see me, even though I am so near. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna. Likewise, God is the nearest of all, but we can't see him on account of this covering of Maya. The Jiva is nothing but the embodiment of Satchidananda. But since Maya or ego has created various upadhis, he has forgotten his real self. Because we have forgotten our real self, we are undergoing never-ending suffering. One person the other day came to discuss. He asked, Swamiji, I have got a question. Then I told, what's your question? My question is, how many times a person is to be born? I told there is no end for it. You have to keep on taking birth again and again. Until and unless you realize God. In other words, until and unless you realize the true nature of yourself, you must keep on coming back and forth. There is no limit. Endless births you have to take. Why? Because you are the cause of that kind of coming back and forth. You yourself are the cause. How? You build up desires in every life. In order to satisfy yourself, you keep on coming back and forth. It's very simple. If you have to stop being born again and suffer in this world, you have to organize your desires and become desireless. In the sense, the whole mind must be able to focus on the Divine Supreme, on your own self, true self, which the Upanishads say is in the form of Jyoti, light. Just concentrate on that light, be satisfied with that, never desire anything. If you reach that state of total desirelessness, that means mind doesn't want to go anywhere else. That's the meaning of desirelessness. When you like an object, you like it so much you want to be there with the object all the time. The same way, when you love the nature of Atman, when you feel joy in your meditation, you won't feel like getting distracted from meditation. The more and more you feel joy, the more and more you want to be in meditation all the time. That's what Swami Vivekananda also said to Sri Ramakrishna. Master, I want to be in Nirvikalpa Samadhi forever. Why did he say so? Because Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the state wherein you enjoy perpetual bliss. When that state is achieved, you are no more to be born. And this kind of coming back and forth looks very silly. You are never born, you never die. You come to that reality. But till then, you have to keep on coming back and forth, dancing, falling, jumping, crying, all sorts of things. So, Sri Ramakrishna tells why a person forgets his real self. It is because of the upadhi. Each upadhi changes man's nature. If he wears a fine black bordered cloth, you will at once find him humming Nidhu Babu's love songs. Then playing cards and a walking stick follow. If even a sickly man puts on high boots, he begins to whistle and climbs the stairs like an Englishman, jumping from one step to another. If a man but holds a pen in his hand, what does he do? He scribbles on any paper he can get hold of, simply scratching. Such is the power of the pen. And finally, Sri Ramakrishna says, money is also a great upadhi. The possession of money makes such a difference in a man. He is no longer the same person. Then Sri Ramakrishna narrates his own experience. Once a Brahmin used to frequent the temple garden. He would come and sit in the chamber of Sri Ramakrishna. He would listen to Sri Ramakrishna's talks and so on. Sri Ramakrishna says, outwardly he was very modest. One day, Sri Ramakrishna said, I went to Konnagar with Hriday. No sooner did we get off the boat than we noticed the Brahmin seated on the bank of the Ganges. We thought he had been enjoying the fresh air. Looking at us, that Brahmin said, hello there, priest. How do you do? Sri Ramakrishna said, I marked his tone and said to Hriday, probably the man must have got some money. That's why he is talking that fashion. Hriday laughed. Sri Ramakrishna gives another wonderful example, beautiful example. He says, all these are from the gospel. A frog had a rupee, a dollar coin, which it kept in his hole. One day, an elephant was going over the hole, and the frog coming out of the hole in a fit of anger, raised his foot as if to kick the elephant and said, how dare you walk over my head? Such is the pride that money begets, just because the frog had $1. One can get rid of the ego after the attainment of knowledge. On attaining knowledge, one goes into samadhi and the ego disappears. But it is very difficult to obtain such knowledge. It is said in the Vedas that a man experiences samadhi when his mind ascends to the 7th plane. The ego can disappear only when one goes into samadhi. Where does the mind of a man ordinarily dwell? In the first 3 planes. These are at the organs of evacuation and generation, and at the navel. Then the mind is immersed only in worldliness, attached to lust and gold. A man sees the light of God when his mind dwells in the plane of the heart. He seizes the light and exclaims, oh, what is this? What is this? The next plane is at the throat. When the mind dwells there, he likes to hear and talk only of God. When the mind ascends to the next plane, in the forehead, between the eyebrows, he sees the form of Chidananda and desires to touch and embrace it. But he is unable to do so. It is like the light of a lantern, which you can see but cannot touch. You feel as if you are touching the light, but in reality you are not. When the mind reaches the 7th plane, then the ego vanishes completely and the man goes into samadhi. Now, our scriptures very nicely deal with this subject of Maya. In Devi Bhagavatam, there is an episode which is very interesting. Lord Vishnu said, whoever is endowed with the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, be he a knower of the Vedas, or a yogin, or a conqueror of his passions, or all-knowing, whatever it may be, he is not able to conquer Maya. And Narad was always communicating with Lord Vishnu. He would always come to Vishnu as many times as he wanted to come. So, Narad was personification of devotion. The whole mind was matured, enjoying the bliss of the vision of God. One day, he expressed his desire to understand the Lord's Maya. What is this Maya? Lord Vishnu kept quite simply for some time, as if he didn't take it very seriously. But Lord Vishnu really wanted to show him what is Maya. So what he did was, come on, let us go to a certain place. So he took him on his vehicle, Garuda. Garuda is a chariot, on which Lord Vishnu would travel. So accompanied by Narad, he went on the vehicle of Garuda. And he crossed over many, many beautiful realms of manifestation, different regions. At one particular spot, Lord Vishnu asked Narad, go and take bath in the lotus-filled pond. You see, are you seeing the pond, lotus pond there? Go and take a bath. Narad immediately went there and he entered the water. As soon as he dipped his body in the lotus pond, his male form turned into a female form. He became a woman. And he forgot his identity. The moment he changed his form from male form to female one, he lost his identity. Then the tamasha continues. When he was changed from man to woman, what happened? His tambura, his clothes, his memory, and the beloved form of Vishnu, they all vanished. He totally became unaware of any of those things. So, that's how the container, see, a person in the tiger's form, how he behaves, he can't behave like a god, or he can't behave like a man, he behaves like a tiger. So body is very important, which body you are taking, accordingly you behave. That's called upadhi. Now here, Narad has become a woman, and he has become most charming woman. It so happened, the king was passing on the way with a big retinue, and he was so much drawn towards this woman, and he immediately took her. Well, how nice you are here. Come on, you have to live in our palace. It's wonderful. So he took her into his palace, and in course of time he married her. The king married this Lady Narad. Over the years, this story is there in the Daivi Bhagavatam. Sri Ramakrishna also tells the story in a different way. But anyway, over the years, what happened? What happens to every person who marries? Begetting children, is it not? It's natural. So, this lady, she had many children. Not only many children, grandchildren also. So, this lady Narad is named, now she has become a queen, Saubhagya Sundari. That is her name. Queen Saubhagya Sundari. Saubhagya Sundari, most beautiful woman. That is the meaning. Most auspicious, beautiful. Beautiful looking. So, what happened in this process? She became entirely immersed or totally involved in royal family life. Luxurious life, and was completely forgetful of her identity under the influence of Lord's Maya. Still the story continues. So it went on. How long? For many, many years. She was in the climax of happiness, so to say, enjoying her life immensely, with children and grandchildren, with so much power, position, respect from everybody. But situation did not continue the same way. A rival king, he became very jealous by seeing the glamour and glorification of this king and the queen. So he waged a war. Then the queen's husband, the king, and all the children, they had become grown up, Many sons, he had many children. They all marched to the battlefield to fight. In course of fighting, they were all killed outright. Everyone was killed. So, the queen saw this sight. What a terrible state it is. So she couldn't bear this sight anymore because she has lost everything. King gone, that is most beloved husband is gone, children are gone. What is this nonsense? What a stupid state I am living with. So what she wanted to do was, she wanted to make sati. Sati means she wanted to burn herself in the fire, funeral pyre, So she gathered up all the bodies. She herself constructed a funeral pyre and lit it aflame with the idea of committing sati. She wanted to jump into the fire. So she entered into the fire. At that point of time, one hand extended to ward off the heat. An arm came out of the flames and pulled her through. With eyes wide in wonder, Narad found himself in male form again, standing in the pool that he had entered earlier to bathe and holding the Lord's hand. Gazing meaningfully into his devotee's eyes, Lord Vishnu said, "Now do you understand a little of my Maya? But what are you doing standing here in the waters? Come forth and let us be off." So he showed the Maya this way. So it means Maya is inexorable and inscrutable. To fully comprehend it is impossible. You can never understand the nature of Maya. You can never boast. No. About Maya's enchanting power, Sri Ramakrishna said, if you recognize Maya, it will recede. Instead of embroiling ourselves in it by attempting to analyze what it is, Sri Ramakrishna's declaration advises us to first simply recognize its existence. After knowing Maya as a fact of existence, we can then implement useful practices prescribed by the Guru and affirmed in the scriptures, such as discrimination and detachment. These cause Maya to dissipate like fog under direct sunlight. Since Maya is woven into the fabric of manifestation itself, one must carefully notice its hiding places. In a field of rattlesnakes, one must avoid them by heeding their warnings. The discriminative art of recognition constitutes an entirely different approach from attempting to analyze Maya. For Maya is of the very nature of unfathomable complexity. The mother's Maya is the cause for the universe of name and form itself. All phenomena and appearances projected by it, even time and space, have been facilitated by this inexorable power. Therefore, all learning pertaining to the universe of name and form is simply a study of Maya. Here, a distinction must be made between Daivi Maya, the highest aspect of Maya that the mother utilizes for manifesting her consciousness into form, and Maya proper, where matter is taken to be real, to be a reality. So the latter is both a vikara, from wherein the elements of Prakriti undergo a transformation from one substance to another, and a force of illusion that covers truth and distorts human understanding. It is a perplexing force. It has been stated that it is not wise to enter into an analysis of Maya's domain. This assertion allows for one very important exception. Ignorance binds only those who are without the knowledge of their true nature. If a striving person, through awareness of supreme truth, gains enlightenment and comes to realize the self within as eternal and indivisible consciousness, then Maya's powers are rendered harmless. This is instanced by the Divine Mother's Daivi Maya, which she uses to create forms, circumstances, and locations for the work of her avatars, devotees, and other luminaries. For the others, scientists, politicians, attorneys, mathematicians, physicians, authors, artists, workers, and the rest, if they are as yet unaware of their divine nature, they play into Maya's hands and remain in the dark about Paravidya, that is supreme knowledge. Out of touch with reality, they enter the mode of Vaichitra, that means varieties, and become preoccupied with the exacting analysis of Maya through the avenues of science, physics, math, literature, the arts, and other subjects. This is the one main drawback of pursuing Aparavidya, that is lower knowledge, as the highest aim. It can lead towards the highest knowledge if utilized in conjunction with moral and ethical living, but quite often embroils the mind in a futile obsession with details and superficialities, drawing it down into habits of restlessness and lethargy and leading it away from true fulfillment. Aparavidya, this lower knowledge, also conduces to worldliness, as it takes the mind away from higher pursuits and avenues of expression and places it on purely conventional modes of attainment, such as fame, success, family life, pleasantries, and so on. Then the truths contained in Paravidya, those eternal and sacred principles of non-dual truth, comprehensive wisdom, unalloyed bliss, inner peace, and the transcendent nature of pure consciousness awareness beyond name and form, remain undiscovered. Now it is very important for us to know further, there are some characteristics of Maya. The illumined ones, from the safer, steadier, and more detached position, have long pondered the mystery of Maya and noted down its peculiarities in order to help the jiva, the embodied being, to escape its effects and gain realization of the divine self within. Over the centuries, Tantric adepts especially excelled in enumerating many of Maya's workings. So, it has listed 10 characteristics of Maya to help persons recognize its workings and detach from them. It is like diagnosing the disease and then administering the medicine. It's just like that. You have to recognize the Maya. Then you can take positive steps to get free from Maya. So, it undergoes, the first thing is, it undergoes transformation without ever losing its own identity. That is first characteristics of Maya. It undergoes transformation without ever losing its own identity. Second, it is like Ishvara and the soul, eternal, for it exists even after Pralaya, the dissolution of the universe of name and form. That means Maya ever exists. Thirdly, it is illusory since it creates illusion in the minds of living beings. Fourth, it is the seed that created the entire universe, which appears like a pictorial presentation before the perceptions of living beings. 5. It represents and supports both sense perception and activity in the individual as long as the results of past deeds are not exhausted or neutralized. 6. Being the very material of the many worlds, it is insentient. 7. It has no beginning, middle or end. 8. All of its evolutes partake of its same nature. 9. Since it is the initial cause of manifestation, it acts in hundreds of ways, each with many permutations. 10th, it can be recognized by the grace of God revealed in the illumined intellect. These are the 10 characteristics of Maya. There is an 11th characteristic of Maya as well. What is that 11th one? Maya gives rise to 7 kinds of impurities. Once you are under the influence of Maya, you are exposed to all these things. In Tantra, imperfections are not looked upon as fixed defects, but rather temporary flaws that ripen and fall away. The impurities are viewed as intentionally imposed limitations existing in order that life can proceed. As life is lived, the impurities gradually disappear and the aspiring soul is released into Paramashiva, the highest abidance. In Sanskrit, the impurities are called 7 impurities. What are they? Moha, Mada, Raga, Vishada, Shoka, Vaichitra and Harsha. These are the 7 impurities. What is moha? It is a particularly insidious form of morbid fascination which causes beings, that means which causes people to become attached to evil deeds as if they were good deeds. In today's, if you notice, governments, judicial systems, social organizations and religious institutions, for instance, beings are perpetuating all manner of detrimental actions and calling them beneficial. It is a mass delusion on a collective level, going to war to establish peace, judging people by a harsh and inflexible standard of law rather than with compassion, performing social service with selfish motives and hidden agendas. These are some examples of moha in the individual and collective consciousness. Educating young minds by teaching only worldly knowledge while ignoring the source of all knowledge is another example. That's what we are seeing in the world today. Nobody is interested in spiritual knowledge. 1 in 1 million may be little interested, little bit. That's because of moha. They're so much carried away by the worldly knowledge. The second one is mada. What is mada? It taints the mind with vanity and self-aggrandizement. Attracted by glory and fame, persons seek after and accept that which is base and ugly, thinking it to be desirable and beautiful. Attachment to the body, which decays and dies. Obsession with fame, which only brings disenchantment and loss of peace of mind. Seeking after power that gradually corrupts and destroys. These are instances of mother's influence. What is raga? Raga means attachment. It's a well-known obstacle in spiritual life. It cripples the human mind by robbing it of its freedom and spontaneity. It ties the body and its energy to the yoke of subservience and slavery. Such is its nature that it leads to deeper and deeper modes of bondage and will not fully let go its hold even after an object, action or thought is transcended. In this case, persons actually become attached to attachment and remain so for lifetimes. Embodiment in a form that repeatedly suffers the agonies of birth, disease, old age and death is a prime example. Next is Vishada. It is sorrow and grief. It pervades the mind with despondency and depression, making it unable to raise itself up and accomplish even menial tasks. The guna of tamas, slothfulness or inertia, is its close partner. Its presence can last for a lifetime as it blinds the individual with the overwhelming dejection and unhappiness. Loss of fortune, unrequited love, unforgiving grudges, uncontrolled passions, these are open doors through which Vishada can make its entrance. Once it enters the mind and establishes itself there, it becomes increasingly difficult to destroy its dark presence. The fifth one, Shoka. It constitutes a vast set of afflictions that plague the mind and make it dull and lifeless. It saps body, mind and soul of vitality and motivation and fills it instead with doubt, reticence and complacency. Under the constant array of blows proceeding from life and its experiences, the struggling person staggers and falls and soon gives up. Spoiled dreams, dashed desires, elusive attainments, frustrated success and the like all inhabit the realm of Shoka. In association with Raga and Vishada, Shoka breeds well in the hearts and minds of living beings. The sixth one is Vaichitra. That means variety. In this connection, it refers to the many distractions that tempt and haunt the mind, making it restless and imbalanced. Because so much distraction, so much temptation, you lose your balance. Its presence brings about the loss of steadfastness, a quality which tends itself well to a wide degree of attainments ranging from basic happiness to meditation. For the sake of experiencing diverse pleasures in the form of tastes, feelings, sights, and even intellectual stimulation, persons take to Vaichitra like an old friend. In conjunction with Moha, it attracts the mind and senses to the many, thereby obscuring the one, a characteristic trick of Maya. It leads to unadvisable contact with the other impurities, which all play into each other in insidious fashion. The last one is Harsha. It is the delight which contributes to a desire for increased pleasure, particularly with regard to the amassing of huge amounts of wealth. He gets Harsha, he gets delighted. Still more I must get, still more I must get, still more, why, still more. I saw in the recent internet news, a police sub-inspector whose salary was 9,000 rupees monthly, his assets became 9,000 crores. The whole country was shocked to hear this. So much corruption, bribes. Because of that, he has amassed the assets. But salary is only 9,000. Assets are crores and crores of rupees. Because he is feeling harsha. Today he gets 100,000. Tomorrow he gets 200,000. Harsha. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I may get much more. That way. So even after riches and influence are attained, it continues to evolve and leads to various unhealthy distortions centering around hedonistic pursuits. Thousands of people are under its control. The forces of Maya move far and strong under the steam of this powerful network, and in union with Moha, Mada and Raga, seduce beings into the unsavory realms of Vishada, Shoka and Vachitra. So, how terrible state it is. It is really terrible state. The more you try to see, the more Maya has two aspects. One is Avidya Maya, the other one is Vidya Maya. Vidya Maya means spiritual knowledge. Avidya Maya means secular knowledge. So, if you propitiate Divine Mother in a proper way, then the Vidya Maya, it flourishes, it blossoms. The more and more you become aware of spiritual knowledge, the more and more you learn spirituality, then you will be able to really overcome the Avidya Maya. Avidya Maya just disappears. It just disappears. Only you have to be very stable in your spiritual knowledge. That is why we are planning to build Sri Ramakrishna Universal Temple. Thank you. Page 842. Master said, people around here are not good. So many criticize you. He was referring to Girish Chandra Ghosh. Girish said, I don't care. Please tell. Master said, all right. You may serve me when I go to your house. Girish said, no, it is not that. I want to serve you here. Girish was insistent. The Master said, well, that depends on God's will. Brief, referring to the Master's throat trouble, Girish said, please say, let it be cured. All right, I shall thrash it out, Kali, Kali. Sri Ramakrishna said, you will hurt me, Girish. Oh throat, Girish said, oh throat, be cured. He blows at the throat like an exorciser. Are you not all right? If you are not cured by this time, you certainly will be if I have any devotion to your feet. Say that you are cured. Master sharply, he said, leave me alone. I can't say those things. I can't ask the Divine Mother to cure my illness. All right, I shall be cured if it is the will of God. Girish said, you are trying to fool me. You are trying to fool me. All depends on your will. Master said, shame. Never say that again. I look upon myself as a devotee of Krishna, not as Krishna himself. You may think as you like. You may look on your Guru as God. Nevertheless, it is wrong to talk as you are talking. You must not talk that way again. Girish, please say you will be cured. Master, very well, if that pleases you. Girish was still under the influence of drink. Now and then he said to Sri Ramakrishna, well, sir, how is it that you are not born this time with your celestial beauty A few moments later he said, I see, this time it will be the salvation of Bengal. A devotee said to himself, why Bengal alone? It will be the salvation of the whole world. Girish said, addressing the devotees, does any of you understand why he is here? It is for the liberation of men. Their suffering has moved him to assume a human body. The coachman was calling Girish. He got up and was going toward the man. The master said to Yam, watch him where he is going. I hope he won't beat the coachman. Yam accompanied Girish. Presently Girish returned. He prayed to Sri Ramakrishna and said, O God, give me purity that I may not have even a trace of sinful thought. Master said, you are already pure. You have such faith and devotion. You are in a state of joy, aren't you? Girish said, no sir, I feel bad. I have worries. That's why I have drunk so much liquor. A few minutes afterwards, Girish said, Lord, I am amazed to find that even I, have been given the privilege of serving the perfect Brahman. What austerities have I practiced to deserve this privilege? Sri Ramakrishna took his midday meal. On account of his illness, he ate very little. The master's natural tendency of mind was to soar into the plane of God consciousness. He would force his mind to be conscious of the body. But like a child, he was incapable of looking after his body. Like a child, he said to the devotees, I have eaten a little, I shall rest now. You may go out for a little while. Sri Ramakrishna rested a few minutes. The devotees returned to the room. We shall stop here. Any questions regarding Maya, you are welcome to ask. No question? Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. Own name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is thy wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous reign tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.